Okay, so the reason why I'm making this video is because now that there's 21 people in here, the point of this video is that the Democrats have completely lost the gun control argument. Completely. They've totally and absolutely lost the gun control argument. The debate is over, and I was going to explain why. So the sad thing about it is you think that the Republican Party, you think that you're supposed to have people in the opposition to be able to argue your points for you. But I think a lot of people don't understand like some of the details of debate and argument. And it's important to remember that if you put up somebody to argue on your behalf who doesn't have control of the subject, and if you put up somebody who is a weak debater, that's basically called a straw man. So basically, you're putting up somebody who doesn't have control of the facts, is a weak debater. They're going to get pulverized, and um, they're going to make the opposition's point look as if it's legitimate and whatnot. So here's the thing. I noticed when that person who will remain nameless because I forgot his name, when he shot up that Asian salon, I noticed that they didn't report on the gun he used to shoot up those salons. And as soon as I noticed that they didn't report on it, my assumption was that he didn't use an AR-15 or an AK-47. I still don't know what he used, which tells me that the media either never found out what he used or he probably had a handgun or something. Soon as this shooting happened just recently with this guy in Colorado, as soon as they found out that this dude had an AR-15, the Democrats on Facebook, this Occupy Democrats, which I have to say I log in from time to time because it's good for laughs. They start putting out all this anti-AR-15 propaganda, right? So basically, they're like, okay, Boulder, Colorado, Orlando, Parkland, Las Vegas, Aurora, Colorado. Now, first of all, now they talk about Sandy Hook. The person, the scumbag, what was his name? Adam Lanza. He had a pistol and an AR-15. So just because he had more than one gun, but they didn't focus on the pistols because I think at that time, I think they knew that there was no way they were ever going to be able to get pistol sales to stop. But he had an AR-15, so that gave them more than enough to go after him, right? And now you go to these other shootings, Sutherland Springs, Tree of Life, Poway, whatever, right? And a lot of these people had AR-15 rifles, or they had whatever they had. The bottom line is, when these people see these things, they automatically get scared. So anyway, I shared that picture right there that says, yeah, I don't support any bans at all. And my rights to bear arms will not be infringed. Bottom line. There is no argument. There's no debate. My arguments will... I'm not going to allow the other side to debate me as far as my constitutional rights. Now, what I wanted to point out, again, was the fact that during those riots last year, during the George Floyd riots, I'm not going to call them protests because they were riots, and in many cases there was so much criminality going on where people were smashing into stores and stealing stuff and throwing stuff out, the rioting, the looting. Now, you can blame whoever you want to blame for it, but the bottom line is that during that rioting and looting, gun stores, I had never seen lines in front of these gun stores like I started seeing in front of these gun stores. And in fact, where's that other screen? Well, in fact, you know what? I have photos that I was going to show, but on Occupy Democrats' website, they don't pay attention to the fact that that they're backing rioters and looters, and that's causing more and more American citizens to go out and get themselves armed. And on top of that, with this new recent Asian violence, that anti-Asian violence, where not only did you have this person shooting up these salons, but on top of that, you have all of these people in New York and in these big cities attacking Asian American people. Well, I had posted, you probably noticed it, Asian Americans Asian Americans are buying more guns. Asian Americans arming themselves, right? Let me pull that up. So you got more and more Asian Americans arming themselves, and I posted this story right here that I'm going to show, where Forbes magazine had shared this screen right here. Where is it? Where is it? Forbes magazine. They did this story right here. More Asian Americans buying guns for protection from hate crimes. Right. So here you've got this model minority that they call it, which I think is bullshit, but they call it a model minority, Asian Americans. And you've created an environment that is so violent at this point and so chaotic and so unpredictable. For instance, I shared a story on a New York train. There was a guy on the train who urinated on a woman, Asian woman, and this person peed on her. I'll get to that in a minute. But that happened in the news very recently, right? I'm handling a lot of news sources, and this thing doesn't allow you to just skip from one to the next. Bottom line is, here you've got a situation where when the rioting and the looting started, people got scared, so they ran out and bought as many guns as they possibly could. And now you've got a situation where you got Asian Americans fearing for their lives. They're going out and they're buying rifles. And by the way, this gun store that's in this Forbes story is right around the corner from the gun store where I just went. And you've got these people buying weapons, fearing for their lives because they don't know if they're going to be the next people to get attacked. And next thing you got the Derek Chauvin trial. I forget what his first name is, but it really doesn't matter to me. Chauvin, who killed George Floyd by putting his knee on him and choking him basically until he couldn't breathe, and then he died and whatnot, and got on tape doing this. The idiot didn't even think about the fact that he was on tape because he knew those people were standing there videotaping him. Didn't care about none of that. As far as I'm concerned, he should get the death penalty, period, plain and simple. Thing about it is, we know that you've got another summer coming up. Where are we right now? We're at the end of March. You got another summer coming up, and we have no idea. I believe that he's going to get found guilty of something. We have no idea what's going to happen in that trial, and we have no idea whether or not there's going to be civil unrest during or after that trial, maybe even before, during, or after the trial. We don't know. A lot of people have been buying weapons. Ammo sales are through the roof. Ammo is inflated in price right now. You go into the ammo store, and they tell you, oh, yeah, I can sell you 5.56, but I can only sell you like 2 boxes. But because I like you, I'll give you 3. So ammo sales are through the roof. Ammo sales are through the roof. And what I'm basically saying is the Democrats have no argument for gun control. First of all, Americans being armed is a states' rights issue. If Americans want weapons, if they want guns, whether it's for sport, hunting, or protection, they have every right to do it. So the Democrats have made it as difficult as possible to buy a gun, but all that's done is drive up the market for illegal guns. So what ends up happening is you got smash and grabs where people break into stores, steal guns, and then they sell them out of a trunk. Or you've got people who owned a lot of guns who are selling off their old guns. So every now and then you might find one of these dudes who has an old-ass 19-something revolver, and you're looking at him like he's Red Dead Redemption 2, and hey, he bought what he could get. So the bottom line is everybody had the constitutional amendment, but the Democrats have taught people to abhor owning a gun. They've tried to make it so people are terrified to even own a gun. Like that Philando Castile situation, which I always thought was fishy. Philando Castile was a concealed carrier, had a license, and somehow did the wrong thing, got himself killed, despite the fact he knew that there were cops there. Now, I have family members who are all concealed carriers, and they've had run-ins with the police because they've, speeding and shit else. And they've never gotten shot because, my thing is, okay, maybe there's a difference because maybe they were former cops. Maybe they knew a little bit better about how to talk to the cops or whatever. Bottom line is the Democrats have been doing everything they could to get people to abhor guns until now they've allowed looting and rioting to convince people that now they need the guns. So now you have people lined up buying all these damn weapons. I had that photo. And you already know what I'm talking about. I don't have to show you a photo of people lined up around the gun store. I don't have to do that. But the bottom line is now they've made a situation where you've got all of these people buying all of these weapons, especially these Asian Americans. And they would have been the last people you would have ever expected to be buying guns, especially in mass. So we've got a situation now where we have a summer coming. You've got all these psychopaths doing crazy hate crimes to other people. You've got all of these young kids who've been locked up in their houses, haven't gone to school in the last year, and they're going down there to Florida. So they go down to Florida, and they made Florida look like, what was it, Miami or something? They made Miami into Freaknik, and they're losing their goddamn minds. So my thing is, you've got all of this fear and panic. You've got all of these people rushing out to buy weapons and buy ammo. You know, some of them are, they just keep it in their house. A lot of states have concealed carry. Some states have open carry. And the Democrats really hate the open carry states because when you can walk around outside carrying an assault rifle that they call it, or AR-15 or AK-47, they don't even want to show videotapes from that unless it's at a Trump rally in order to say that, yeah, these people are sick and crazy and this, that, and other. However, they have the constitutional right to carry their rifles outside. The Democrats do not believe in the Constitution. Not as it's written, they don't believe in it. What they are doing, and I figured this out a long time ago, they have no intention of doing a convention of states. They're never going to do a constitutional convention. What they will do is they will use ad hoc law to try to amend the Constitution without amending it. So they'll try to pass more and more laws, and they'll try to ban more and more. Whatever they don't like, they'll try to ban it, whether it's assault rifles or whether it's GameStop trading or whatever it is, car emissions. They'll do their best to ban these things. Now, here's the thing. I already see it. I see it happening. I see what's coming. But the Republicans are so pathetically weak that they have lost control of the argument. So as far as I'm concerned, the Republicans are nothing but straw men. That's one of the reasons why what they've done in the NRA, they've tried to get as many black and Hispanic people as possible to put us up as the face of gun control. And they got the old black woman. Oh, yeah, well, I'm freedom's safest place. I keep a 45 in my purse. They've gotten a Hispanic woman. They gotten women especially. Oh, yeah, I was 5 seconds from being raped. But fortunately, I shot that guy right in his face. And I'm freedom's safest place. And then they got the black guy. What do they got? Colin Noir, I believe his name is. And this guy, oh, yeah, he's up there speaking against me. Oh, yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. He didn't do nothing wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I already laid down my piece on that. As far as I'm concerned, Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer, and he should have never left his house carrying a weapon across state lines to do vigilantism. That's the reason why he needs to go to jail. The booty house. Bottom line is, they've tried to put as many faces, African Americans, Hispanics, whatever, as they could because they're trying to change the narrative. One thing I will say is that on these lines for guns, I've seen more and more black faces, more and more Hispanic faces, and now you're seeing more and more Asian faces because these people are terrified because here you are, you're not showing these people you can protect them. And what's worse is that if the state is allowing murderers and rapists to get away, then that tells the people that the state is not protecting them. The cops are not protecting the best. Look at that. Look how much people complain about when the cops come, they always end up taking the white criminals alive. Well, guess what? If you were armed and you were able to defend yourself being armed against that person who came in to shoot your salon up, they would have never made it out of that salon. In fact, they were talking about Dylan Roof at the church. I was always under the assumption that people in church, there was somebody with a gun because they had to protect the tithe plates in the church. That's my assumption. If Dylan Roof had come up in my church, Dylan Roof would have gotten shot full of holes because he would have never been able to kill that many people quick enough, and he wouldn't have known who in my church are concealed carriers. I'll let you in on a secret. In my church, the pastor's a concealed carrier. The pastor got a robe, and the pastor got a .357 Magnum under his robe. So if Dylan Roof had come up in there, there were at least 4 people who would have been shooting back at him. So if you're black and you want to argue, oh, the cops always take him alive. Well, guess what? If my pastor had blown his head off, or if somebody in the congregation had opened fire on him before he could get enough shots off, there would have been nobody to buy a hamburger for, because he would have left that church in a body bag. But what bothers me is that now, when you've got these murderers and these rapists getting away with killing people, you don't even have a state willing to execute them. So my thing is, I don't care if the family forgives him, this, that, and other. This is not about the family. If you want to forgive him, that's fantastic. That's between you and God. The state is supposed to make examples of people in order to they're supposed to make examples to prevent these things from happening. So they should have come out already, even in this Asian American situation, be like, we will not tolerate crimes against Asian Americans. And if you're caught doing it, you're going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, whatever it means. So if you've assaulted them, that means you're going to jail for a while. If you kill somebody, you might be executed. If you rape somebody, you're probably going to be executed. But if you can't count on the state to do that, then what good is the state? So my thing is, if you don't protect your citizens, they are going to protect themselves. And guess what, Democrats? So many of these guns have been sold within the last 2 or 3 years that you ain't never turning that clock back, ever. That clock is never turning. There have been so many of these damn things sold, because these things are mostly made of plastic. There have been so many of these things sold. There will never be a gun buyback. You know why? Because you can't afford it. This government's bankrupt. Bankrupt. Right now, they're spending $60,300 a second. The national debt is over $28 trillion. It's going to be $30 trillion probably within 2 years. You ain't got the money for no buybacks. And even if you did, ain't nobody stupid enough to give you anything back. You know what they'll do? They'll put some BB guns and they'll sell you that and you can buy that back. But they ain't selling you no damn rifle. What, are you kidding? As far as handguns, they ain't giving those back either. This is not Australia. There's a constitution here that allows people to protect themselves. And that's that. You've lost the debate. Occupy Democrats, you've lost the debate. And it's amazing. It's amazing that every time it's an AR-style weapon or AK-style weapon, automatically they jump up and they're screaming that we need gun bans, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the problem. All I got to say is I'm not a proponent for you. I'm now your opponent, and I ain't selling shit, number one. Number two, I got some more stuff I plan on buying, and that's my constitutional right. What these people should be doing is suing you in court, left and right, until you either get tired of it or you run out of money. But the NRA did a pathetic job. Trump himself helped ban bump stocks. So Trump himself is as bad as these goddamn Democrats are. That should have never been banned. First of all, this guy Paddock, there's still questions about Paddock and that shooting that he did from that place. We don't even know if that was really him. There's still lots of questions. But even then, that has nothing to do with the constitutional rights of the people who bought all this stuff and didn't commit any murders. Just because if somebody hits somebody with a car, what are they going to do? Ban all the cars? Of course not. So my bottom line is the Democrats have lost the gun control debate. There is no debate anymore. They've lost they've lost the debate. They've completely lost the debate. And they did it by allowing rioting, looting, murders that they would refuse to talk about, rapes that they refuse to talk about. And what's funny is, as much as I want to hate her, Lauren Boebert is right now, she's basically the Sarah Palin of our time. And Lauren Boebert, as much as I want to not, because first of all, I know she doesn't know shit about science. I heard her trying to explain something the other day about global warming. I already know she don't know nothing what she's talking about. She's 35 years old. She ain't got no geology degree, so I know she don't know what she's talking about. As much as I don't like her, she's the Sarah Palin of our time. Lauren Boebert needs to be fighting gun control tooth and nail. And it's a damn shame that the Democrats have done such a horrible job and then failed to protect the people and then are trying to disarm people who just got armed. As far as I'm concerned, you know what? What's sad is the enemy of your enemy is your friend. But at this point, as far as I'm concerned, the right wing and the left wing are both they're both wings on the same bird, and they're both equally incompetent. I don't believe that they understand the Constitution. Even the elected representatives, I don't believe they even read it. Honestly, I don't believe it, because it's amazing how few of them seem to have any grasp of what's constitutional and what's not. I learned the Constitution back in high school. I don't think half these people know it. And even if they do know it, I think that they don't care what it says. And on top of that, I think that they are trying to promote ad hoc law, and they're trying to force through quasi amendments. Not just the Democrats, the Republicans too. Because I've argued a number of times against what the Republicans do, especially when it comes to private corporations and internet companies. The Republicans are just as bad as the Democrats are. So when you try to take one over the other, no, that's a mistake. They're both equally incompetent, and that's at their best. At worst, they're equally criminal. These people are not abiding by the Constitution. These people are not protecting the citizens. These people are not abiding by the law. Every goddamn other week we catch one of them in a scandal. These people are not abiding by the law. So basically, that's pretty much all I had to say. So I'm going to drop this link right here. So if anybody wants to talk about it, I'm gonna drop this link. I wanted to show you the story about somebody on the train pissing on an Asian woman, but I'm not even gonna bother, because all you got to do is search urinating on train on Asian woman, and it'll come right up. So I don't even have to do that. But I'm very disgusted, and I'm very disappointed with what's going on now. I'm very disappointed a lot, and I'll tell you this. I noticed a lot of Asian Americans marching with Black Lives Matter, but now I'm noticing that Black Lives Matter and Antifa, I haven't heard anything from Antifa, and I really haven't heard anything from Black Lives Matter. They should be standing behind Asian Americans. I don't want to hear that, it's not my problem bullshit. First of all, half of y'all assholes are the ones committing crimes against them. So, no, it is your problem. You know what bothers me, and I'll say this again. You know who you are. Each and any one of you who said, yeah, it's not my problem, and Asians don't like me, and this, that, and other. Well, half of you have a Chinese food company, one of those Panda Chinese restaurants. Y'all have their number on speed dial, and you're relying on them to feed you and your children. When you get ready to order that beef and broccoli with that pork fried rice, you know exactly who you calling. You're not calling one of your own people. You calling on Chinese people. When you get ready to get your clothes dry cleaned, you're calling some Korean dry cleaner to get your clothes dry cleaned because you're too lazy to do that shit yourself. When you want to get something for cheap, like a mop or a broom, chances are you're going to a 99-cent store owned by some Asian people. And it really bothers me that the same people who are saying, oh, yeah, I don't care, you're the first people to call up a Chinese food restaurant for some chicken wings and French fries. And you're also, in many cases, the people robbing these people when they bring the food to your house. Yeah, you know who you are. So I'm disgusted. I am disgusted with all of you. You know exactly who I'm talking to. I'm disgusted with you. And it bothers me. And I swear to God, I've had this conversation with people. Oh yeah, well they're not. And I'm like, well, first of all, they have no obligation to support you in protests and your riots and your looting. You ain't gonna see no Asians out there rioting and looting because they don't do that. But they support your ass every single time you get hungry. So don't complain about these people coming to your neighborhood, setting up shop, because at the end of the day, you're the one paying the money because you want what they got. Chances are you had Chinese food today. Now, it's funny, all these people talking all that shit, about SARS and China virus and following Trump and this, that, and other. How many Chinese food restaurants have you eaten from within the last year? How many times have you had Chinese food within the last year? You talk big about China. You've never been there. I've lived there. You've never been there. You talk about how they're mistreating the Uyghur people in Xinjiang. You couldn't point out China on a map. And you're the first person to call them up and order your soy sauce and your dumplings. That's what you do. So you're intellectually lazy. You're intellectually dishonest. That's what you are. You know who I'm talking to. So my thing is, you should be supporting these people. But I will promise you, and I will tell you this, whether you support them or not, just like in this video, or not the video, just like in this picture from Forbes, these people are going out and buying guns. So the next time one of you tries to piss on one of them on a train, or the next time one of you tries to rob one of them, or the next time one of you tries to walk up and play the knockout game, you might catch a bullet in your heart. You might catch a bullet in the back of your head. You might catch a bullet in the front of your head. Just understand, this Forbes article right here is telling you right now, these people are tired and they're scared. And I'll also tell you this, they're not the only quote-unquote model minority that was out there buying guns. They're not the only ones. You know who else was? Could somebody tell me who else was buying guns recently because they were scared? They were scared of somebody coming after them. Who else? What other model minority was out there buying guns? You tell me. Who? Who else? You tell me. Or I don't know. Maybe you got to think about it. But yeah, these people aren't playing that game no more. So the thing about it is, you might end up putting yourself in a Trayvon Martin situation where you're fighting against somebody who's armed and they're not playing that shit. You know, my thing is, it's like I'm very, very, very disgusted with the behavior. I'm very, very disgusted with the apathy. I'm very, very, very disgusted with what I'm seeing. I'm very disgusted with it. The racism, I'm tired of it. And the thing about it is now, and I understand now, that's the reason why God gave scorpions a stinger. It's because, when you come after the scorpions don't play no more. They don't play, So my thing is, it's like, you know what? You're taking your chances. Yes, African Americans are buying weapons. Latinos are buying weapons. These people just ran out and they just spent money buying their guns. You know who else? What other model minority bought their guns, huh? I bet you don't know. I'm going to stop sharing that one and I'll start sharing this one. I bet you don't know. What other model minority? You know what other model minority started buying guns? Huh? New Jersey and New York. New Jersey and New York. Gun permit applications jump in New Jersey as Jews seek protection amidst rising anti-Semitic attacks. Now, this was 2020 January. I don't know how many of your memories go back that far, but I remember when they had there was a number of anti-Semitic attacks, and these people said, you know what, we ain't waiting to get we're not waiting to get killed and slaughtered and this, that, and other. We're going to go out and we're going to arm ourselves. We're going to go out and arm ourselves. So BB and Yasser, them guys going out and they buying stuff. So y'all want to keep on attacking these people and you want to keep on knocking these people out and everything and playing knockout game. Pretty soon, I'll tell you what. One thing I learned a long time ago is a bullet turns rape into not rape every single shot. A bullet turns a hate crime into not a hate crime every single shot. So you guys want to keep on playing with these people and you want to keep on picking on these people. Don't be surprised when one of them lays you out and you in the street leaking. Don't be surprised. Because people are not playing this game no more. What's that photo that I had of where's that photo I got? Because I had a photo of the gun store lines. Because I took some of those photos myself. Because I saw these people out there. The first thing I wanted to do was get online with them. Because I was like, yeah, I could get some more ammo. But let me tell you, these people ain't playing that game no more. And I think some people, they think this shit is funny. And how the hell do you pee on somebody in a freaking train? Like, how do you do that? How do you pee on a woman on a train? Let me tell you something. Oh, yeah, let me tell you something. It's going to be a hot summer this year, boy. It's going to be a hot summer. I got myself an 80-inch television, and I'm going to be sitting right back in my house because I can't travel this year. Normally, I would have gotten the hell out of here. Normally, I would have been in the Philippines come July, and I'd have been on. You saw my photos. You saw my video. I'd have been on that beach. I'd have been in that pool. I'd have been with my Filipina, and we'd be sipping that pina colada. I'd have been the hell out of this place. But last year, coronavirus said, nah, you ain't going nowhere. This year, most of those borders, Thailand, Philippines, if you're a tourist, you can't even go there right now. So I'm stuck here. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be right here next to my 80-inch television. I'm going to be laying back in my couch. And as hot as y'all make this summer, I'm going to just be sitting back chilling and watching. Because I'm not going out there with the bullshit. And you already know what I got. In fact, I think maybe next week I'll probably go to the gun range and I'll make you know what? Monday, I'm gonna make a gun video, and I'm gonna go to the range, and I'm gonna empty out, because the problem with going to the range now is every single time you pull that trigger, that's like $1 that goes down that barrel, and that's expensive. So my thing is, maybe I'll go there and I'll cap off a couple of clips. And my thing is, I'm going to do that Monday, and I'll make a little video for that Monday. But let me tell you something. This summer, I am going to relax. I'm going to have my 80-inch television. I'm going to be relaxed. And nothing's going to bother me. And that's that. And everybody else, guys, you guys are on your own. But my thing is, it's like, as hot as y'all make it this summer, I guarantee you, if y'all do that loot and riot and bullshit, there's people who are ready to put a stop to that. There are people who are absolutely ready out there to put a stop to that. And y'all, some people just don't get it. They don't get it. And I'm saying, y'all better cut it out. And you also better back these people who are being attacked. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it could be as simple as you just wearing a shirt that says Asian Lives Matter. If I could get an Asian Lives Matter shirt, I'd probably wear it, or a hat. Asian Lives Matter. But the problem is, y'all are attacking these people. You're not supporting them. You only going to them when you want something. And that's the reason why y'all have such bad relationships with them. And you know who I'm talking to. So that's basically that. I'm tired now. So now I'll drop this link because I'm tired. And it's 10:28. I don't intend to be on here all night, but I'm going to let some people up in here. So there you go. Boom. There's the link. There's the StreamYard link. And that's that. So, my thing is, it's like, it's going to be a hot summer this year. I'm going to try to figure out a way to get the hell out of here. I was talking to some of my coworkers, and we were talking about going to Maldives. We were going to fly Emirates Airline, Dubai, and we were going to go to Maldives, just like the video I made of me going Dubai to Seychelles. I was going to do that again. But this corona shit got me locked up. And it's like, there's nothing, I can't do nothing. I can't go where I want to go. And I'm very upset about that. So it's going to be a hot ass summer. But the bottom line is, I'm going to be chilling right up in my house while y'all fighting a war in the streets. And I'm saying, it's like, y'all need to calm that nonsense down, because I tell you, it's not going to be pretty. So, okay, here's my Garrido. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let you talk, Mike.
How's it going, John?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. Talking about that, I mean, I knew that, the Republicans and the Democrats at this point, there is no good choice at this moment.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
And that's why I got myself an AR-15 armed to the teeth. I just got to go to the range. I got to get practice.
So now here's a question. In your state, what is the requirement for you to get it? Just walk us through how difficult, how long did it take, what did you need to get it, what did you have to do, so forth. So how much did it cost? Just walk us through that. Walk us through that.
So I got my AR-15. We're talking about maybe 2019.
Okay.
And so at the time, I was, 18 years old? It wasn't, because my birthday is June 17th. And so I decided to have my brother to do a third-party transfer. And he was like 22.
Okay.
And so he was like, why, I could give you this AR-15. He bought himself a lower because you need to be 21 for that.
Okay.
And so what he did was, I got my hunting license. It was a pain in the ass.
What did you have to go through to get it?
I basically had to go through talking about a 4 to 5 hour course. It was in the afternoon. It was sponsored by the California Fish and Wildlife Association. And so the permit was not cheap. I'd say it was about, in total, I spent like 80 bucks.
Oh, that's cheaper than here. I had to pay $200 for a handgun license.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to tell everybody about that later, about how you get licensed here for a handgun.
Yeah, so in California, it's not that bad yet. But by 2024, the AR-15 will be banned entirely. There's a rumor of that going on.
Yeah. It's California.
Yeah, but good thing I get to keep mine. As long as you lubricate it, you put that gun oil. You don't necessarily have to clean it. You just have to.
Do you have it with you now?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Can I see it?
Sure. Let me just get it real quick.
You have a nice case for it and all that?
Yeah. Hold on.
Sure.
So how's everything going?
Well, you already know how everything's going. I'm up here telling y'all, it's like I'm not happy with what I'm seeing.
Oh, no shit.
I'm not happy at all.
I can imagine.
I'm quite disgusted.
Man, I'd be pissed. Let me get it. It's because I got it stored. I don't want people getting it. Got a gun case for it.
Yeah. I bought a nice rifle bag for mine made by Tac 6.
There you go. Here it is.
All right, let's see what you got.
Let me turn on my camera.
Okay.
Let me go ahead. Can I switch it around? Can I?
Let me see. I'm trying to see how I make your thing bigger.
So this is how it looks like apart from it.
Oh, you took it apart?
Yeah. Look at this.
Why did you take it apart?
Just because, I don't want the enemy reaching out for it. I mean,
Oh, okay. So I see you have a lower with okay, you have removable magazines, but California has a 10 round band.
Yeah, but
I have that same magazine. It's the Hex magazine with the orange bottom, right?
Since in Freedom Week, I purchased myself like a 45 round magazine, so I have that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I have it right in here. I don't know if you could see it.
No, I saw enough of it just to see the parts that you have. Yeah, looks good. I'm glad you didn't get stuck with that horrible New York State compliant that horrible buttstock that they have. So you have a regular grip just like me.
Yeah. On the condition that I'd have to have it's removable. I'd have to have a FMJ magazine, so it's like a small 10 round magazine. So when I go to the range, if I want to load in the rounds, I cannot take out the magazine. I have to use what they call it. It's a magazine where
It's a speed reloader.
Yeah, speed reloader. Yeah.
Yeah, you just slide it in and it slides the bullets down into the chamber.
Exactly, I have that.
Yeah.
When you go to the range, you have to have it.
Good. Very nice. Yeah, well, you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure. Well, first of all, the prices were higher on ammo, I think, than ever before this past year because it was like an ammo rush, basically. But I'm pretty sure that so many people have bought AR-15s, it's going to be really difficult to ban them.
Yeah, at this point, at this point, I'm pretty sure the Democrats have plans for a national ban or of some sort, maybe going through by the states if they're Democrat or whatever. But the Republican states are not going to comply with that. As much as I don't like both of the parties at this point because shit is just breaking loose. There is no control.
Nope.
Not at this point. Like you said, the Democrats can't guarantee the safety of, for example, the Asian minorities or people who have small businesses and open their businesses within communities that are less fortunate and have crime, for example. And so if they cannot have that security, or that form of safety, they themselves have to go out there and buy their own safety protection.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because the problem is they can't count on these cops, and even if the cops catch the people, they can't count on the government to do anything about them. So basically, you're on your own.
Oh yeah, you're basically left there to fend for yourself.
Yeah,
If we look at the LA riots, for example, you know,
yeah, you're basically left on your own
and
because you can't count on your own government anymore to protect you. You just can't count on them.
yeah. And for example, here where I live, I remember I was jumped in National City, California, and so that's a pretty shady area. And so they stole like my laptop and my phone one time, and fortunately I got it back. But at that time, it was like if I had a taser or something, because you cannot conceal carry here in California. You know.
Yeah, well, no, listen, the concealed carry thing is really funny because there are some people who can get the concealed carry permit. I have a lot of family members who get it. Some of them are not cops, some of them are, some of them are pre-military. They used to be military. But the bottom line is, it's easiest if you have a security license or if you are a former police officer.
Yeah, or if you were a veteran or whatever, you're more likely to actually get the CCW. However, in California, there are such things as knowing local politicians, and they are the ones who could actually go through the hoops and actually help you in getting a concealed carry permit. That's common here in California. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
know a sheriff.
Well, you should have seen the look on the cops' faces when I brought my pistol license in, and they had to stamp Desert Eagle 50 caliber on my pistol license. You should have seen the look on their faces.
They probably were shocked.
They're like, "Why?" No, basically is like, "Why do you need that?" And I'm like, "Just cause."
Yeah. I think the reason why they really just stared at that was because the caliber is a little, like, it's powerful. It's good for close range, but controlling the recoils must be a pain in the ass.
Well, I'm a very big person, so for
Oh
me,
yeah, you could probably handle it.
yeah, it's really not that difficult. But the thing about it is that thing is really like as a target pistol, it's really awesome. And if I ever want to go hunting with my, because my ex girlfriend's father, he goes hunting like bear and stuff like that.
There you go.
A 50 caliber Desert Eagle, a bear ain't no match for that.
Oh hell no.
A bear, a hog, they ain't no match for that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sick of it, honestly. I wanted to travel because last year I had my trip canceled, and so this year, since I racked up them credit card points, now finally, I'm just like, when can I travel?
By the time summer rolls around again, I'll probably have accumulated about another 50,000 points, probably.
Right.
And that will be another $500 worth of travel points. And that'll be like during next summer, I'm getting the hell out of here and I'm going to do it big. I'm going to do the same thing business class, international flight. I'm gonna do it big, and I'm gonna have a good time. I might even stay there for 2 months. I might go to one country and then let that visa expire, and then go to the next country. I'm looking at Singapore. or possibly I might do Vietnam and Cambodia. I'm not really sure.
So you're probably going to be planning to do like a 2 month, because I think you, as a U.S. passport holder, you could be in a country for 60 days.
60 days is like, well, you know what? Thailand had experimented with the idea of doing a 90-day. Because see, you got to remember, as a U.S. passport holder, you can get whatever visa they're offering you at the gate. So Thailand had thought about, like, they were like, okay, let's let people come for 90 days. But then I think they changed their mind on that because the spread of COVID kept getting worse, right?
Yeah.
So most countries, it's usually a 30-day limit. They don't want you being there any longer than about 30 days. Now, if you have a long-term visa because you're a student, that's different. So, a student visa, like I had a multiple entry visa for China because I was a student in one of the schools and it didn't expire.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I
Was it
think
like a 10-year tourist visa?
yeah, it was something like that. By now it's expired, but if I wanted to get it again, you'd have to sign up for one of their schools.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you'd have to go through the process and everything, and I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
but
it's
it
expensive.
wasn't that, it really wasn't that bad. No, I think it was like $100 and something dollars. I think when I got it was like 150 or something like that. But
Yeah.
if I went to China again, I wouldn't be staying there that long because of the pollution. I'd probably, like, even when I went to South Korea, I stayed there half a month. I stayed there like 15 days, and that was actually, strangely enough, that was actually a long time. But
And
I had a lot of time. I went all around the place.
yeah, and I should say we're pretty lucky, because I tell people, man, get your passport. You may never know when you're gonna need it. You know what I mean? Because during, I don't know if now you can go in and get your passport out, but in the beginning they didn't allow you to actually go to your local postal office and fill out a application for a passport. You know.
Yeah, so that's basically that. Oh, by the way, I keep putting the link there just in case anybody's trying to get up in here and talk about this situation that we got going here, or if anybody wants to address anything I said about how disgusted I am with certain people who are not supporting this community when this community is what's feeding your goddamn kids.
And this is
So,
why we need more parties to actually be recognized. And I'm not saying parties are the solution. I'm just saying more of a variety of candidates should be allowed to run, instead of just having Democrats and Republicans.
well, you know what? The problem ultimately is always going to be the money. See, the Democrats have a bunch, and I'll say this: the Democrats do not have a lockdown on these people anymore because a lot of these people. Let me tell you, the progressive agenda is alienating a lot of Democrats away from the Democrat Party because they don't want anything to do with these damn progressives
Right.
because they're radical and all they want is welfare handouts. That's basically it. In the same vein, a lot of these Trump Republicans have left the Republican Party because they don't see any reason to
Yeah.
stay in it because as far as they're concerned, if they can't have Trump, they don't want anybody. And the bottom line is they can't have Trump. And I really feel sorry for a lot of them because they're really stupid enough to actually think that Trump is somehow going to be able to magically run again when he's damn near 80 years old.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the Democrats ain't letting it. They if they have to cheat outright, they will do everything that they got to do to make sure that he never runs again.
Well, I feel like it's already happened. I feel like his political career is over. I could be wrong,
His
maybe.
political career is over.
But one thing I will say is, you know, with that being in mind, I'm more of a centrist slash moderate. Like, I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm sort of in the middle. I'm like, Jesus, like, whose side should you pick? You know what I mean?
No, well, either one of these sides, they're both incompetent as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Are you gonna vote next, like in the next 4 years?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote definitely, but you're gonna have to work to get my vote.
Who do you plan to vote for? I know it's too soon.
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's too soon. Definitely.
Yeah, we don't know nothing yet.
Yep. So that's basically my thing. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, it's definitely too soon to tell.
And the sale of ammunition is rising.
Oh well, first of all, getting 5.56 and 2.23 ammo is so expensive down south, and the reason why is because everybody has one of these AR-15s, or they have an AK-47. So the 7.62s, the 5.56, the 2.23, all of that down south is very expensive. When you come up here, it's less expensive because a lot of these people, they have handguns. So finding 9mm ammo, 45, 38, all of that is very expensive up here. But basically, 5.56 cost me about 90 cents a round, basically.
There you
Um,
go.
and it rises up to about $1 per round. So in between 90 and $1. But handgun ammo is very difficult to get in certain calibers.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
And I
crazy,
also
man.
noticed a lot of people had started buying those FN 57s because I guess they think they could shoot through bulletproof vests. Those FN 57s at the Ruger FN 57, because Ruger made a 57 after FN, because the FN model is like $1,300, but the Ruger model is like half that. So a lot of people bought those things, and 5.7 ammo is too expensive, in my opinion. It's easier to buy 45 or 38. But ammo, we stocked up on ammo long before the pandemic, so we were ready. You know,
Oh yeah.
it was like, when I go to the range, most people would call me a fool for going to the range and even using any ammo. But you know what? I just like going to the range every now and then.
There you go. You see, it's you can afford it and things like that. I think there's actually the HK variant G36. Those are starting to actually get a sale too because now they're making variants of it and it's not that expensive.
Yeah, if you were to get an HKG 36 here, you'd end up with the same bullshit about a 10-round clip, and then you'd also have to have an extended barrel because the HKG 36 is really a personal defense weapon. It's not exactly a rifle because of its length. So a G36 is technically a personal defense weapon.
It's
Some
like a
people might
combat rifle.
they call it a short barrel rifle. You
Right.
know,
I
um,
feel like it was more inspired. Like it looks similar to an M16, or maybe what is it? The Israeli um, what's it called? The Israeli.
Tavor.
Yeah, there you go.
The Tavor is illegal here because it's a short barreled rifle, and technically it would also be considered a personal defense weapon.
Yeah,
But PDWs are not illegal. It's just that short barrel rifles are. So if you're right, you know what they're trying to ban. The Democrats see. It's funny because every time we come up with something new, it's obvious that they're going to try to ban it. The AR pistols, the AK-47 pistols, they're about to try to ban them shits, all of them, and they're also going to try to ban the pistol braces that wrap around your arm. They're going to try to ban all of that stuff. And they were also talking about banning micro Ronies, and if you have a pistol that locks into a shell frame that you can shoot from it, and it also carries another clip for your pistol, they're trying to ban all of that shit. So the bump stock was just the beginning. The day that I first saw a bump stock in action years ago, I was like, yeah, this is going to get banned. And the reason why is because regardless of all the bullshit that they want to talk about, oh, it doesn't make it a machine gun, it makes it look like a machine gun. It
it
makes it feel like
replicates the
it,
same.
it replicates the high rate of fire. Now, granted, you can fire a gun bump stock style without having a bump stock. That's true. But the bump stock makes it so easy until I already knew that shit was getting. I knew that was getting banned. I knew that as soon as I saw it. So that's just where we are.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. For example, I own a BCM rifle, and the barrel of my gun almost looks short, but it's not. Like it, it has a bit of its imitation to it. So that's that. I mean, it's compliant with California law, but I feel like by 2024 things are gonna get worse.
Well, listen. I'd like to think things are going to get better. I not, as COVID dries up, hopefully things will definitely get better because they don't even talk about the death rate for COVID no more. They don't even talk about it.
Oh yeah,
And I anticipated a lot of that. I knew a lot of that was to make sure that we got Trump out of office. Okay, fine, but they don't talk about any of that stuff no more. And you hear about it just in passing. It's like nobody cares. They're trying to get everybody to reopen this economy. But right now, they still have issues when it comes to the city workers and it comes,
logistics.
yeah, the logistics of reopening all of this. is very difficult right now. And then you've got governors under fire, and you've got mayors under fire, and this, that, and other. So it's really a big mess. Bottom line
Because
is, I don't care how big a mess it becomes. My only obligation is to survive it.
right, because like my local college is starting to open up. They have plans to reopen, and I'm happy for that, or at least to have a hybrid class, because there are classes that I really need to take. Because I'm a IT CIS computer information systems student. And so, they really held me back, and not just me. My brother, for example, he only needs 3 classes and he's good to go. He's golden. He goes to physical therapy class and.
It's funny. What is this? Somebody said, Nathaniel says, do I have comments about the mass shooting? My question is, which one? Because it's like this country, there's so many mass shootings, I can't keep track.
You
So,
have a lot of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, first of all, I already made my comments clear. It's like I'm disgusted with the anti-Asian violence. As far as I'm concerned, it's a hate crime, but I don't care if it's a hate crime or not. It's a terrorist act and he should be executed. Just that simple. Terrorist actions like that should get you executed. Period. No in betweens. Terrorist attacks with those mass murders should get you an instantaneous walk to death row.
I feel like it's
Now,
victimization, though. I feel like you have, for example, like I do feel, bad for George Floyd and whatnot, but you shouldn't go out there and destroy your fucking city and cause mayhem. You know what I mean?
well, absolutely not. But see, the problem again with George Floyd is you had all these people who were locked down during this quarantine, and they decided to come on out. Locking these people down for 2 or 3 months, they started losing their goddamn minds. But the bottom line is the police didn't do their job correctly. What they didn't do is they didn't show zero tolerance for it early on. Letting those kids,
You
white
also have the
kids,
Women's March. It was 8 million women, I
yeah, but
believe.
the women's march in and of itself wasn't a big problem because as long
No.
as there's no violence, looting, or rioting, there's no issue.
Oh,
But
no, yeah,
see,
yeah.
they allowed areas of Seattle to get taken over, and they create that Chaz Chop Zone. When the police did that, they automatically should have been turning in their badges because they had failed. That should have never happened.
But there's corruption. I feel like there was some serious corruption involved with that. Like, I feel like, those people should have been fired off the spot, be like, hey, you know what? You are dismissed from your duty, blah, blah, blah. And that should have been it. But no, it took them a while.
Yeah, well, no, it's because they were not willing to use, and it was a racial component to it. They weren't willing to use that force on white kids that had taken over that precinct. They weren't willing to use it. Now they knew that there were obviously Black Lives Matter mixed in there, but they were not willing to take that force against Antifa. Antifa was like the human shields, and as long as they were there, the full amount of force was never going to be used. And I saw that in play like right away. Because if that had just been Black Lives Matter out there doing that, oh man, they would have come down on them. They would have come down on them with the full weight of all authority. They would have come down on.
Oh no, you know what it is? I feel like it's a mix because you have biased news reporters from the left and from the right, and they go out there and they say their piece of the story, but they don't hear the other.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Regardless how the media reports it, the police, that's not their job to care what the media reports. Their
No.
is
No,
to
I understand.
secure a location. That's their job. But the second that they allowed their precinct to be taken over, they had failed. They should have had their badges taken from them.
Yeah, there was a red line that was crossed.
Yeah, it's like if
There
I'm
wasn't
a security guard at Walmart and somebody comes in and starts stealing stuff and I just let them. Well, then I failed. And I should lose my job immediately.
Nathaniel Rudolph comments about the mass shooting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like as far as the mass shooting, there was 2 mass shootings, but I'm discussing as far as I'm concerned, any act of terrorism, especially that results in deaths of people, you should get marched right to death.
Yeah, at this point, there should be minorities. There should be a point where people should start discussing now And like I feel like if you have to learn to forgive, and that's with you and damn God. But I feel like minorities should unite. You know what I mean?
All right, so Slim asks, am I taking the vaccine? The answer is no, not unless I'm absolutely forced to, and even then I'm going to wait until the Johnson & Johnson one comes out where it's just one shot.
I know people
But
who've taken the
I'm
vaccine.
not going there twice, and I'm going to wait until I'm the last person online. So all of those illegal aliens that are trying to jump ahead of the line, come and take my spot, no problem. All of those rich people that they claim are trying to jump ahead in the line, if you're a rich person and you want a spot in the line, all you got to do is come to me. I'll let you have my spot.
You know what it
I'm
is?
not taking shit.
You know what it is, John?
Yes.
Like, for example, I know, like, my father, he got the COVID-19 vaccine. He got the Pfizer one, and he got his first dose. I think he's going to get his second dose. But I feel like I'm just going to wait till 6 months or 12 months until they release a vaccine where it's only one dose, and that's about it.
Yeah, well, that's the Johnson & Johnson one, supposedly, and I'm pretty sure somebody else will probably crib that, and they'll have their own single shot. Nobody wants to take 2 goddamn shots. Like, what kind of stupid shit is that? That's like if you came up, like if there's zombies out there and you come up with a cure for zombieism, and you gotta shoot the zombie twice with the. That's just stupid.
You know,
It's
you know
like,
what's what's interesting? It's similar because there was an article one time posted, I think, by the Washington Post. It talked about wearing like double mask and shit like that. It's like saying
again,
if
that's
I
stupid.
wear,
That's stupid.
yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
I don't know who these people are or who writes these stories, but that's just dumb.
it's like if I wear two
You remember
condoms.
how they used to have to they used to have to tell people not to put on 2 condoms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna
Like there's
say.
some people who think that doubling up on condoms is going to decrease the likelihood of pregnant. No, it's going to increase it
Yeah,
because one of them might break, and the damage of the friction will break the other one. Like these
yeah.
people are dumb.
Too much movement because it's a muscle that you're using.
Yeah, it's amazing when you have to deal with stupid people. It's just amazing. Like I'm dealing with a nation filled with stupid people. I've got a media filled with lies, and then I've got a Congress filled with incompetence.
But I feel like like I said before, it's like in my opinion, I feel like there should be more parties that should be recognized and be allowed to
Mike,
whether.
it's never going to happen. And I'll tell you this: the Democrats and the Republic they've raised an entire generation of people who are so poorly educated at this point. They ain't never going to lose control. It's like I have lawyers in my family, and I tell them all the time, you're not going to run out of clients because I can guarantee you're going to have plenty of people doing stupid shit to end up right in jail, and they're going to need like if you're a lawyer right now, you can't run out of clients. You
No,
just
you
can't.
can't.
It's
You're
like
you're
it's like running out of salt water. It ain't
you're
gonna happen.
you're always going to have business, and someone who is in the IT field, for example, like I know a lot of my peers are studying liberal arts, major liberal arts or whatever. And I feel like, after, I finished my school and I actually, because, I got called yesterday for another job interview because my previous job I got fired for work politics. I'm just going to put it that way, for
Yeah.
work
Well, first of all, you already know you're in
California.
California. I'm in New York, but the thing about it is, I'm not one of those people who would just roll over. If anybody ever tried to come at me with that lawsuit bullshit, you're getting sued, and I will still be collecting my check while you're trying to fuck with me, and I will win based solely on First Amendment. Now, as far as California, I can't be too sure about that because California is a mess. It's basically a communist state at this point. So you have to pick your battles.
It's a free for all.
It's better not. It's better just to be It's better just to be quiet in some cases. Like I don't go to work and try to start political arguments with people. I don't bother with that. I'll do it online because I don't care. But
Oh,
if you
no.
do it at work, you have somebody. Oh, he's threatening and blah blah blah, and I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah,
hear
yeah.
any of that bullshit.
Yeah, it
So,
wasn't,
but
had nothing.
where you are, you can forget it.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I remember like we were joking around and we were calling each other shit, and I feel like someone wasn't.
No, it's like being on Facebook.
Yeah,
I was joking with somebody and I called them bitches, and fucking Facebook had an automatic ban on me for like
yeah.
30 days.
Even
And I
even
was like, I didn't intend it to be like, yeah, you're some bitches. Like, I just was joking.
Even my boss was like, "Hey, that was fucked up what they did because the head of their, ultimately decided to fire me." But they told me that, oh, it's because this and that. But after they fired me, they fired five other fucking people. They even fired the manager because, one of them was cocky, and they were, too much shit to go dive into. But it was a mess.
Yeah, no, but that's what you're dealing with. So the problem is now that you know what you're dealing with, now you have to have a strategy to deal with them. So if that means going silent and just being, if it means that you have to be anonymous, then that's just what you have to be for now. As long as you make your money, and once you get to the point where they can't touch you, that's when you can start talking shit.
Anyway,
But
long story short, I was just gonna say that I'm gonna, end up with a lot of clients too, because you have those people that don't know how to troubleshoot shit, or, fix, certain things with their computer. Maybe have to do with security, troubleshooting, um, you know, malware, shit like that. I'll have a lot of clients. So
Well, no, well, yeah. I mean, hey, you know what? All you got to do right now is focus on making your money. Don't bother with the politics in certain circles. Make your money once you get to the point where you've made so much money, or you're in a position where they can't do shit. That's when you can show your true colors. But other than that, nah, it's like you just can't deal with these people.
the good thing is with this new position, it's just remote work. So I'm just happy for that. And I
Yeah,
do,
remote work is good. Remote work is definitely good.
yeah, yeah. But other than that, I'm starting to beat down my classes all quick. That's why I've been taking all, like two classes or whatever. Because there was a issue with, I think I talked about it, of my college. I think it went because I was going to transfer to a university, so it's not accredited no more, and it was a private college. So now I just go to the public college, and I'm taking like multiple classes, trying to finish it up as fast as I can.
Good. The sooner the better, man. The sooner the better. Like eliminate as much debt as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Because at this point, I'll eventually have to pay, the house that I live in. You know what I mean? Because my parents had it for a couple of years, and it's almost done being paid for. So, you know, I don't want to lose everything.
Yeah, no, that's just what it is, man. It's like we're in for some serious chop coming up soon, and we already know it's going to be a rough ass year.
Yeah, this generation is fucked. My generation is fucked.
Oh yeah, in more ways than they can even imagine.
Although I am happy with like my credit card portfolio, but one of my resolution goals is now to body build, like lift weights and stuff. So
Mm.
yep, I mean you got to make the most of it, because right now opportunities are starting to come up. You know what I mean? And so I tell people, take advantage of it now, because if you don't, because now we're in a more competitive and dynamic economy, meaning that there's more competition for a lot of the professional careers, etc. And I'd rather have start working on my health and well-being than having to suffer.
So this guy Savage Raccoon says, "Yeah, how's the economy looking this decade?" Okay, well, where should I start? Okay, first of all, there's almost 30 million people right now in danger of not being able to pay their mortgages or their rent. Uh, the government is basically at this point printing as much money as possible to give people stimulus checks just to basically keep them from starting a riot.
It's like a guinea pig running on the wheel.
Right. We're 28 plus trillion dollars in debt, spending more than $60,300 per second. We'll be at $30 trillion in national debt probably within the next year or two. They might speed that up. Who knows?
We could end up like Greece, or not
Uh,
exactly like Greece, but similar.
yeah, we're basically in a Cold War with several of our neighbors, including the country that's making like 80% of our shit, China. They're threatening to hack our computer systems. We're threatening to hack theirs. They own our debt, so we dare not do anything to theirs. Yeah,
Actually, have
I
you
think
have you
it
ever
looks
heard of
pretty
that
bad.
Fang Fang. What was it? It was a scandal going on here in California with a Bay Area, politician. He was with this Chinese chick,
Oh yes, oh yeah, she was a good looking one too.
Christine Fang Fang. I forgot what her name was.
Christine Fang.
Yeah,
Yeah, she fucked her way all the way to the top of U.S. military secrets. But this is nothing new. When I was a kid, we had a guy named Win Ho Lee during the Clinton administration who was stealing our nuclear secrets.
there you go.
So, hey, listen, this is nothing new, except that at least now they're throwing women at you. So at least that makes it a little bit more interesting. I've always argued that if these other countries really want to conquer America, all they need to do is throw their sexy women at us who are all spies. And they'll easily get access to all of the nuclear secrets and everything else.
Yeah, as long as they give out that poo-tang to the people at the top, you know.
Let me tell you something, Christine Fang. Like, I'm gonna pull up a photo just in case.
There you go. Yeah,
But Christine Fang, she probably laid it on that dude so good until he didn't know if he was coming or going.
there you go. He was, you know,
Honey trap, they call him. She was a honey trap.
yeah.
Honey trap.
You know what it is? Actually, I really don't know if I should talk about it, but I remember when I was working, there were these Chinese students volunteering, and there were these decently, hot women. There were like two or three, and then there was one gentleman, and he was just asking questions and questions when I was working there. But yeah,
Man, let me tell you something. God forbid I was in like Lockheed Martin, or if I was in a position like that. Because if I was in a position like that and they threw that one at me,
I'd keep
oh
my
man,
mouth shut.
let me tell you something. She'd have probably fucked me into a coma, and I would have probably woke up with half my eyes, and I'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing in my wallet?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm stealing the nuclear codes." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, good night."
Yeah, but it was weird because these people would come like on Saturdays and Sundays. On the weekends where it would be only me and a couple of,
Hold on.
it'd be in like three other staff members, and that would be it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
terrible.
sounded weird.
Yeah, this was him. Just in case. Yeah, there she is.
Kristen, yeah, there you go.
Honey
That's her.
traps. They
Yeah,
threw a
honey
honey
trap.
trap at him. How you gonna throw that over here to America? And yeah, oh man, that's the honey trap, man. Got him. You look
What
at the
was
smile on his face. You already know he like right now he probably can't feel his balls.
what was the name of that dude? Does it say there?
I try to remember that guy's name. It'll come back. Yeah, but they threw the honey trap on him, man. I bet that guy was like exhausted. Um, oh, Democrat Congressman. What was this guy's name? What was this guy's name? Yeah, and then she was banging some Swalwell.
Yeah, Swarwood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was with another guy too, getting stealing secrets from him too.
yeah. She was befriending not just him, but the other dude. She was cocksucking him.
And the question is, where is she now? That's the question. Where is she now?
Man, she disappeared over there back in Shanghai. You know what I mean? Sipping on that, pina colada.
She probably fucked that man into a coma, and he didn't know what was going on. Like, and I'm willing to bet that's exactly what happened. She didn't know. He didn't know what was going on. He was like, and even if he knew, well, he was probably powerless to stop it.
Yeah, he couldn't. He couldn't feel. He couldn't. He didn't have the strength to. The
Yeah,
pussy. The pussy took control over him.
no, man. Like she probably hypnotized him.
Yeah,
Like hypnotized him. That poor man didn't know what was happening, and I,
but
and I
what?
totally understand.
But whatever. He allowed himself to, to be taken over.
Yeah, but see it was different back with Win Ho Lee because they were actually throwing like real spies at us. But now, man, it's like now they don't even bother anymore. They just hit you with the WAP trap.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hit
Yeah,
you with that
definitely.
WAP.
And speaking, yeah, and anyway, speaking about that, I think personally, minorities need to reunite at this point because this fucking shooting and shit. And you really need to have a discussion and let bygones be bygones. Because fuck, dude, we're gonna be in serious trouble because you cannot even trust the Democrats and the Republicans now. It's a divided state. at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, man. Listen, I've given up on this government, man. I basically given up on them. I gave up on them years ago, actually. It was
Really.
like I always knew this wasn't going nowhere because the problem is the people themselves are they're more and more uneducated voters every single year,
Yeah, and they're
and
starting to
that
be
that
more.
right there tells you you're done.
But
You're done.
as long as you have people like AOC and all these progressives, you know what I mean. As long as you have these people like Bernie Sanders putting that shit out, which is a fallacy. And I feel like, and I've talked with progressives and they don't understand. I'm like, we should have a mixed fucking economy with, a mixed economy with social programs, but at the same time, a robust, sector. You know what I mean? We need to have some type of cash flow to back all these programs that they want to have. Because if you don't have that, you're just going to keep printing money and money and money and create that debt. Look what happened to Venezuela. And I feel like it was wrong that Venezuela was sanctioned, but Venezuela relied too much on oil to fund the programs that these people had.
Well, I'll say it like this: without American sanctions, no matter what plan they came up with, it would have worked. But once America starts putting sanctions on them, that's basically that. That's the reason why everybody's trying to move to this cryptocurrency because they're trying to get away from
And
American.
look what's happening to the UK too. UK left the European Union. Now that they're starting to be sanctioned, and they didn't feel the pain until now. They were like, "Oh, we'll be able to survive after we left," and look at them now. I'm serious. You have people over there standing in line, in London, in the rural areas, trying to get the milk, trying to get the food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all because of what? Of Brexit, Brexit, Brexit. Oh yeah, we want to be make Britain great again. Shit like that. Well, guess what happened?
Well, see, I can't blame them. The problem is they react. See, the problem is we're so reactionary right now until we're reacting to things that, for the most part, are already set and done.
But I'll say this: Britain had a lot of fucking privilege. They were able to keep the British pound. They were able to rule their own country the
Well,
way
I,
they
I just
wanted
want you
to.
to understand something. First of all, I ain't got no love for the British because, as far as I'm concerned, the British were nothing but a bunch of colonizers, and it's bad enough that they were colonizers, but then all of the mistreatment that they did of all of these people around the world. Now, granted, the people who are alive now, it's not their fault.
No, no, no.
The country's policies that these
Legacy.
people were benefiting from. Nah, well, listen, I understand it's not their fault what their predecessors did, but the bottom line is,
The legacy still keeps
yeah,
living. That's
you're
a
still
problem.
going to pay for it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you're going to pay for it.
Why do you think
So,
the UK relies a lot of its economy on offshore money, cartel laundering in the British Virgin Islands and the Cayman Islands? All those places are fiscal territories, and those are used for what? For money that was involved with crime. Them British are smart. They know what they're doing.
they're not trying to help those countries like Haiti. French have them deep in debt. They're not trying to help these people. So, as far as I'm concerned, you get what you deserve.
Yeah, I mean, look at them. Look at the damn British Virgin Islands. They have them there. You know what I mean? As a sort of scapegoat. It's like put the money here, keep your mouth shut, be a fiscal policy or whatever, and don't say anything. And they rely on that. That's why the UK is totally rich. It's not because London, the finance. It's like HSBC was originated by the fucking British, money laundering in Hong Kong.
Of course.
And they have Gibraltar still, which Gibraltar actually is now being controlled by fucking Spain because they now have Frontex over there. And, the UK is losing damn Gibraltar because it's part of the European Union.
Yep.
Shit is going crazy, man. And the British are like, oh, British Empire, British, British, British. Well, now
Yeah,
they're losing.
yeah. Well, you saw a little bit of that with this situation with the Duchess and Prince Harry, I believe it is.
Oh, Meghan Markle and
Yeah,
Prince
Meghan
Harry.
Markle. So basically, it's like, listen, you know what? what goes around comes around, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That saying comes around, goes around. Well, honestly, at this point, why the fuck should I care? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
well,
not
first of all, we're Americans. We're anti-monarchy. So I like for them to talk about what's going on, it's like, listen, I hope that entire thing collapses tonight. So
exactly
I
what.
could care less.
Why the fuck should I care? You know what I mean? Because they're rich, man. Meghan Markle is wealthy. Prince Harry is wealthy. These people don't have to live the way me and you live. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? But see, my problem is they want to make it like you should not care simply because they don't like the story that these people are telling. See, the thing about it is, had this been some other situation, had it been something else other than racism, they probably would have given it a more of an ear. But the right wingers jumped right on that shit, man. They were like, "Oh yeah, well you guys are elitist." That's what they do. They call you elitist.
It's
And
not that it's not that they were racist. Well, I mean, I don't
no,
know.
well, Meghan Markle was telling you. She's basically saying, "Listen, they said that my child was going to be too dark skinned."
No, no,
So
no,
that's
no.
what they're talking about.
No, I know they were talking about that. But here's the thing too. It's like the thing that was funny though was okay, and I don't know if you didn't notice it, but Meghan Markle was painting herself the fucking victim the whole time. She was on the like. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that
That's what women do. That's just
Yeah,
something women do in general.
and what I'm saying is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the situation. Maybe it was. Maybe it was racism. Maybe it wasn't. But at the same time, she decided to leave the royal family. She decided to. You know what?
But then you have to ask yourself, well, why did she decide to leave the royal family? Obviously, they were sending vibes, and I think Harry, because you got to remember, like I was alive. You might not have been when Diana was killed.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I think Prince Harry has a beef against Charles and the Queen, probably for what transpired or the way that he felt that Diana was treated.
And it's a
So you
form
got to
of
remember that was his mom.
and it's a no, yeah, and right now I feel like for him it's a sort of rebellion against
Yeah.
the
Like I
monarchy.
wouldn't, I wouldn't be a bit if Harry came out tonight and says, "Yeah, down with the monarchy." Like I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, I see where this is coming from."
Yeah, I'd support him. Yeah, no doubt
I,
about that.
I, I wouldn't say I'd really. I mean, I'll wear a hat or a shirt. I don't really support most of these other causes, but listen, if you send me a hat or a shirt in the mail, yeah, I'll wear it.
Yeah, but what it is the UK still has its legacy of populism, far right monarchy, imperialism. Because the problem is, for example, and so I talk with people, who are pro EU, who are not pro EU, and I just said this: look, the worst mistake that the UK ever did was never created a trade deal before it left the European Union. They were just sitting in their asses, waiting for the EU to respond to them, waiting. They weren't proactive about things. They were very slow,
Mm-hmm.
very very fucking slow. And at the end of the day, they're crying wolf. Oh no, Germany, the European Union is doing this to us, blah blah blah. They put themselves in that position. Nobody told them to, jump off the plane without a parachute. They decided to do it.
No, you're right.
It's like if I do an action, let's say if I go kill a dude who broke in my house and he had a crowbar and I shot him. Well, obviously there's going to be consequences, whether it was right or wrong.
No, absolutely.
But
But you know what? Some people can live with those consequences because it's like, yeah, it's you or me.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. And speaking of that, Caltech, for some reason I don't see their rifles that much because they were popular back in like 20.
Caltech.
Yeah, they make like cheap guns.
Well, there's two companies. One's Caltech, and the other one's what is it called? Shit. There's another one that's made here in America. It's a really cheap pistol. It's a cheap. What's that shit called?
Oh, I think I remember what it was called. It
Yeah,
was
everybody hates it.
yeah, it was fuck, it was
I can't remember the name. All of a sudden, I lost it. Yeah, I remember the Caltex.
And they made an AR-15 that was so defective. It was by an American company.
High
It was
Point.
shit.
High Point.
High Point. Yeah, it was horse shit.
High Point. Yeah, people hate those things because they
Yeah,
look like garbage. But it's funny because a lot of crimes have been committed with them because they're so cheap.
they're so cheap to get a hold of.
Yeah, and as far as I know, they're actually pretty reliable. Because I've seen a lot of stress testing on them, so they're actually relatively reliable.
Oh, and Bushmaster. There was also a company,
Bushmaster was making AR-15s.
but it was becoming horse. Like it was popular, but then their quality was bad.
Yeah, Bushmaster. Because I remember when AR-15s they were like I went to Maine, they were like less than $600 up there.
And now you can get a cheap AR with Palmetto State Armory PSA. But I stick to BCM, Bravo Company.
Yeah, well, I like Magpul
Magpul, yeah, they're good.
and Smith and Wesson. Yeah, they're pretty cool. But my thing is, it's like, oh, here we go. We got another person, Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Welcome, Dave.
Hey man, how you guys doing?
What you got to say, Dave?
Yeah, what you got to say, Dave?
Welcome. I really got nothing to say. I was just listening. I just saw that you were live, so I just joined.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So, you just got here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, originally I opened up. I was talking about gun control and how it's not going to work. I think the Democrats have created as many enemies as they need to make sure it doesn't. There's a lot of new gun owners this year that never would have bought a gun before. But first of all, I'll say this. Gun sales were going up under the Obama administration because you had a lot of scared white people. Then when Trump got in office, you got a lot of scared black people going out and going buying all guns. And then you got a lot of scared Hispanics going out and buying guns. And now that Biden's president, now you got a lot of scared Chinese people.
Yeah.
In general. So now they're going out buying. But the thing about it is after last year, with all those riots and everything, everybody was getting armed.
And what do you think of Joe Biden? What does your opinion stand on him now?
Listen, no. Listen, my opinion never changed with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is an old man, and he's a placeholder up until Kamala Harris take that office. Joe Biden was what they propped up in order to beat Trump. And now that that's done, now Joe Biden can retire quietly. That man's not making it through 4 years. The guy's falling down steps.
He's a scapegoat.
Falling down steps. You ain't making it through no 4 years. You can't get up Air Force One.
What do you think Kamala Harris will do once?
All I need her to do is legalize marijuana. Everything else, as long as she doesn't try to touch my rifles and shit, everything else,
there you go.
That's what she does.
We got Savage Raccoon in the house.
All I need her to do is help legalize marijuana. Other than that, I could care less.
There you go.
Wait, hold on. I'm coming back. Hold on.
Because you got to understand, I'm not one of these people who actually believes that the president is, in control of my life. I don't believe that.
No, there's powers that be who are in control.
A lot of these people, they're looking at these stimulus checks. Oh, thank you, Joe Biden. That's not Joe Biden's money, nor was it Trump's. It's like these people don't understand how government works.
You know what's happening with Saudi Arabia, man? Their economy is crashing because their stupid oil production is going down.
Well, they better start making some more goddamn oil so that gas prices go down.
Well, they better start changing their economy into a more energy, solar, electrified shit. Right now, you got more competition. Ford is actually launching their new electric F-150, the Mustang Mach-E, the Volkswagen electric cars, BMW electric cars, and Tesla right now is sort of at a turning point where it is still producing its vehicles.
For example, hold on. When does the F-150 launch?
The electric.
That's got to be a year away.
The electrified F-150, yeah. It's supposed to come. No, I think within this year. I think within the summer, or I think
All right. Well, I'll be looking out for it because I want to drive that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the electrified Ford F-150, and the Tesla semi truck is going to be something interesting.
Well, the semi truck I ain't gonna ever be able to drive. It's the Cyber truck I want to drive, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to drive that when it comes to market.
Oh, no, but the semi-truck, what it's going to do is it's going to be a better alternative because you'll have truck drivers who will be causing less pollution.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Walmart already ordered, like, I think it was 50 of them, and I think there was a number of other companies that have ordered a lot of those things. Bottom line is, I'll see, the thing about it is truck drivers and Lyft drivers and Uber drivers, they all have the same thing in common. They drive for a long period of time and they need breaks, right?
Yeah, they do.
If those breaks are spent recharging these things and they can cut that time down, if they can cut it down just enough
Significantly.
to say, like, yeah, okay, in 1 hour or
30
2 hours,
minutes.
you'll be fully recharged, even if it's 2 hours, Walmart would gladly say, okay, well, we'll give you a 2 hour break. Take a shit, take a nap, eat some food, blah, blah, blah.
And you heard the Hyundai Kona is actually coming out, the electrified Hyundai Kona. And they have a
Um,
decent.
I'll check. See, the thing about it is, I haven't really been around a Hyundai in a while, but I drive almost every EV that comes out, that I can get my hands on, and I'm up to 3 now. So I did the Polestar 2, the Mustang, and I did the Volvo. No, the Volkswagen. The ID4, which everybody's raving about, was good because it was a cool car. I really liked it.
The Polestar looks very interesting. I know it's a rebadged Volvo, but
Yeah, well, the Polestar 2 is basically a Chinese-made Volvo
yeah,
look-alike that's
quote
electric.
unquote.
So basically, China. See, this is the reason why Trump's trade war is never going to work. China's making electric cars, and they're making them at a rate that they're going to flood the world with cars. They're going to put these things around the world. So the trade war was never going to work because if you put tariffs on something like that, chances are people aren't going to buy that. They're going to buy the thing that doesn't have the tariff.
As a matter of fact, Mexico is actually buying a lot of Chinese electric cars are coming into Mexico and taking over.
Well, that's the reason why I bought stock in Chinese electric vehicle companies.
Right.
That's the reason, because I knew that that's going to be the next big thing between China and India. That's going to be the next big thing. So my whole thing was, it's like, yo, I want a piece of that action, and that's just that. So,
but yeah, check out the Hyundai Kona electric version, because it has I feel like for a car like that, it has decent autonomy.
Oh yeah, I'll check out the Kona. Now, from what I remember, the Kona's not that big of a car.
No, it's like a small SUV, sort of like a Nissan Kicks or.
I gotta say, that Volkswagen was such a spacious car that caught my attention because it was comfortable and it was spacious. But the Hyundai Kona, I'll have to give it a test and I'll have to see what it has to offer before I say, okay, yeah, this is the new. Because right now, I really feel like the Volvo and the Mustang are the best new cars I've seen. But, yeah, we'll see what happens, because I'm going to test drive everything.
Because we have a huge problem.
Big Truck, I got a question for the.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're into the housing market a lot, right?
Yes.
You know everything?
Yes.
So, I don't know how it is in New York, but in Chicago and Illinois, man, everyone's buying up a lot of houses.
Well, see, you got to understand.
How is that happening? Isn't everyone supposed to lose their house or something?
No. First of all, America has about 330 million people, right? Let's say there's about 50 million of them that are financially distressed. Out of 330 million, there's about 50 million that are financially distressed, right? And we can even lower that number. We could say between 30 and 50 million, right? The reason why so many of these houses are getting purchased is because the interest rates are so low that people understand if they don't buy their house right now, if they try to buy it later, they're going to get stuck with a higher interest rate. So if they buy it now, they'll be paying the lowest possible rate on a mortgage they could possibly be paying.
Actually,
20 years from now, 30 years from now, they'll be walking out owning that home.
Speaking of real estate, actually, here in San Diego, what's been happening is, even where I live by, John, is that a lot of places where convenience stores are, where malls were, they're now closing, and now they have places where they can rent out and everything. Because I knew someone who was going to open a business, and I told him, hey, dude, where I live, there's places where the rent is being cheap now, man. You could get like per month like a $1,000 payment or whatever.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't have the credit and they don't have the job security to purchase a house. So they're going to end up renting. But California's real estate is sky high, specifically because of the influx of money coming from Asia. And I'm not just talking about China. That's Indian money, Chinese money, Southeast Asian money. Those people have been collecting our money for a long time because we've been buying up so much stuff from them. And they don't spend our money in their country. They bring their money here and they spend it here. And the only thing that they can buy is real estate,
businesses,
hold their value, real estate, businesses, offices, so forth and so on. So these people aren't stupid. They are bringing our inflation back to us, purchasing up our properties, and that's causing our cost of living to skyrocket.
And what I was going to say was, along with that, it has to do with when I said to check out the Hyundai Kona, is because you have a lot of people who are middle class or poor, and electric vehicles are now starting to become popular, and now affordable electric vehicles are arriving into the market.
Well, see, again, with these electric vehicles, I've made enough videos to keep pointing out the same point. Until these things all offer a solid 300 miles worth of range, the prices are fair. I have to say, the prices are pretty good. But until these things offer more range or until they advertise these things a little bit better, they're always going to have a problem against Tesla. And even Tesla is always going to have a problem against gasoline-powered cars because ultimately gas-powered cars, it's like they have an easier time advertising. And that's one of the things people complain about. They're like, yeah, well, we bring electric cars to the dealers. They don't know how to sell them.
Yeah, there is no and the thing is, you don't have the infrastructure. You don't have a lot of charging stations.
But see, that's a misnomer. We do have the infrastructure for it. Every single person who has a house has a house, obviously. They have a place to plug these things in.
A charging station. I meant
but not even a charging station. I've gone past people's houses where you see an extension cord running out of their house to the car.
Yeah.
I've seen this. So if the people want to have a regular extension cord, they have the step 1 charger. But if people want to put that 220 or the 240 on their house, they got the step 2 charger. They got higher step chargers. So my thing is, no, we don't need. Now, I'll tell you like this: the only people who are likely to buy an electric car right now are people who drive long distances every single day. So Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, people who need a new car and they want to use the car in order to do a driving service. Those are the people who are going to buy new cars that are electric vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Now, the issue is the smart people don't buy gas guzzlers right now. The smart people buy either a hybrid or they buy an electric car. The hybrid is probably the easiest and the least problematic, the least gimmicky. But if you are driving more than 50 miles a day, chances are you're better off getting an EV. And when you get an EV, if you have a place to charge it, you may never have to worry about gas prices ever again.
Yeah, you won't be doing that ritual no more, going to a gas station. All you'd have to do is, instead of giving your money to them, is you just use the electricity that you have that you do pay every month.
You drive home, you plug it in, you go to sleep.
Exactly. There you go.
You wake up and the shit's recharged. You can't go wrong with that. And some people are like, oh, well, what if, yeah, there's a lot of people who probably an EV doesn't fit into their lifestyle, but there's also a lot of people who were determined to make it work.
Make it change.
And they make changes in their own lifestyle in order to make, like, for instance, retired people, they ain't got nothing to do. So sitting around for an hour and waiting for a thing to charge or whatever, if they need to charge it, that's not that big a deal for them. So I'm seeing a lot of older people in these Teslas. I'm seeing a lot of older people driving these electric cars now, And as time goes on, 5 years from now, every other car you see is probably going to be an electric car.
Even the Hummer EV, let's see how that popular goes. I'd really want to see that in real life.
Yeah, the Hummer EV is a truck. Now, the bottom line is the same people who buy trucks now, those would be the target audience for a Hummer EV. The people who are buying regular cars now, they are going to be focused on smaller EV. They're not going to be focused on trucks.
SUV. EV.
Yeah, they don't need anything that big. They don't want anything that big. And not only that, the Hummer EV might cost as much as $80,000. And if they say 80, it's going to be like 90 or 100. So by the time that thing comes out, we don't know, but we'll see.
There could be tax incentives for that because
$7,500 tax. The federal government's incredible. They're giving out a $7,500 tax credit. Tesla used up their $7,500 tax credits because they sold so many cars. Ford has that credit right now for the Mustang EV. So a Mustang EV right now, if you're buying a car, would cost you less than $55,000 possibly. And Volkswagen has their ID4 out, so they're going to get that tax credit too. It goes by how many cars they sell.
But I feel like the Volkswagen EV will sell less because a lot of Americans don't buy European cars because of the reliability issues.
I don't know where you live, because where I live, there's a Volkswagen everywhere I turn. There's a damn Volkswagen. It's usually a young
Little GTI.
freaking GTIs, Jettas, and this thing is going to be twice as expensive as probably a Jetta, but you're not paying for gas. So that if they understood how to market these things, people would probably take the chance on those things more often.
And
they don't market them well.
And I feel like Toyota and Nissan are being left behind because even though I know Toyota has
let me tell you something. Toyota and Honda, their EV, they probably test driving that shit right now. And when they bring out their EV Camry or they bring out an EV RAV4, the only thing that'll stop them from selling it is the people who either have shit credit or the people who are determined to keep driving gas cars. But as gas gets more expensive, EV gets more favorable.
Popular.
A lot of people who have those cars, they live in apartments. They don't have a place to charge them.
Right. No, yeah, I understand. Yeah, totally. And
how long are you giving gas-powered cars, though? By the end of this
gas-powered cars, I'll say it like this. No matter what, by 2100, them shits are gone.
Oh, for sure. Just like horses or whatever.
2050, it's probably doable, but you're going to have a lot of people who are going to hold on to their gas-powered cars. But the problem, you got to remember, the government could damn near make it illegal to buy them, or they could allow gas prices to rise so high that having one would cost you more than driving a Bugatti.
It'll be a collectible. It'll be a relic of the past.
Yeah, like these people who are buying all of these gas guzzlers right now, it's like, yo, guys, I don't know why you're showing off. Nobody cares, number one. And number two, it's eating your pockets out.
But you know what's interesting is now they have electric car converters that you could put on your engine.
Have you noticed that like tires are getting expensive too?
Oh, well, I just bought brand new tires, and instead of paying like instead of paying $175, I paid about close to $200 a tire. But yeah, tires are related to gas cost because they're made out of petroleum. So MP Nose says, yeah, I'm debating to get a 2021 Hellcat Charger, not the red eye Hellcat. Should I lease or buy it? Well, to tell you the truth, you shouldn't be leasing or buying it, especially when they have new products sooner or later coming out. But if you really want it, you should lease it. Get the lowest possible deal you can get on it. If you don't like the thing 2 years from now, you can give it back. And if you do like it, you can refinance and keep it.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Would you ever get an electric Hellcat, an electric Jeep SRT?
Listen, I don't know what Chrysler is going to make to obsolete the current generation of cars. But whatever they get to obsolete these Chargers and Challengers, I'll take a good look and decide whether or not I like it. But we'll see. I honestly, right now, I just don't know. Because they're not tight. They're so tight-lipped that you don't know what they're making. So
True.
I really don't know.
Huge secrecy.
Yeah, and I guess, you know what? I don't know why they're trying to hide this stuff, because the way they make their cars, nobody else can really copy them. So my thing is, you might as well just tell us.
Yeah.
But they want to have a big show and they want to have a big reveal and this, that, and other. Okay, fine. I'm willing to wait a while because right now, like my car's paid off. I'll wait. I'll look and see what happens in this, that, and other.
Because here in San Diego, California, Volkswagen isn't that popular. Only Toyotas or damn Nissan or Honda.
Yeah, well, Volkswagens have high cost of maintenance, and not only that, California, they had that issue with Volkswagen and the emissions scandal. So they've probably shunned Volkswagen for a while since then.
But it'll probably become popular later on. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I just don't know.
It could make or break. You know what they say.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, guy, like I'm getting ready to go to bed because I've been up all day on the computer. I sat through like 8 hours of freaking live streams.
Yeah, you did, John. I'm
Hey,
impressed.
No.
you're on
Actually,
Remo stream, right?
I did like I think actually no, that's not true. I did like damn near. I was in live streams all damn day. You know, I'm tired now. So, any guys closing thoughts and whatnot?
I do want to say one thing.
What do you want to say?
I'm truly satisfied with the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Oh, I love my phone.
You know what I mean?
I love my phone. I love the phone. Like my videos look good. My photos look good. I love it. It does everything I needed to do except have 1 terabyte of storage. You know, so yeah, I love my phone. Did I just lose Garrido?
Oh, I think he left.
Yeah, I don't know. He must have dropped somehow.
Oh, well, one thing I wanted to say was I am satisfied with the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Yes.
Well, I have the Pro Max 512. I love it.
Same. I got it.
Yo, Big Truck, tell these people not to waste their stimmy.
Oh God, let me tell you something. First of all, those like I know a lot of people didn't do their taxes yet, and they're gonna get their what is it called? They're gonna get their tax returns soon. I tell you, I shouldn't have to tell people not to waste their money. I shouldn't have to tell them. But the thing about it is, it's like everybody's going to do what they feel they want to do anyway. Some people are going to waste their stimulus checks partying. I don't know. Some people are going to spend their stimulus checks on stupid shit, and some of them might do, they might try to invest it. Okay, fine, whatever. But if you don't make enough money and you don't have a stable job, you shouldn't be investing anything. You should be holding on to that money just in case you're screwed. But everybody's going to do whatever they're going to do. I didn't qualify for it because I make too much money, so I ain't even worried about it.
There you go.
That's good.
I ain't even worried about it. I know, I noticed I was looking at Reddit's stocks. A lot of their stocks are down. Like GameStop it was holding around $200. It's down to 154. It looks like it's plummeting again. I don't think it's going to go back up. But the thing about it is, I never expected it to go back to $200. But you'd be a fool to put your money into that. So the thing about it is, most of those Reddit stocks are all of them are down today because the Dow dropped like 1,000 points or something like that.
What the?
So AMC movie theaters eventually they're going to open back up, but you don't know when. And then they're not paying a dividend. And it's like there's very few things you can really invest your money in. But the thing about it is, if you're in certain circumstances, you shouldn't be investing. You should be saving money.
You should save money, go to school, get a good degree if you have the opportunity to.
Well, yeah, education's an investment. And it's funny because so many of these people want to get rich fast that they forget that, because you got to understand, when you're spending that kind of money, everything you're doing is an investment. Your education is an investment. Your car is an investment. Your house is an investment. Your rent is an investment. Your clothes for work are an investment.
I actually got an advice for all y'all. Here's my catch. Because, I'm studying IT. I'm currently working and I have my degree, and I'm getting my degree. I'm almost done. But I have a cousin in Mexico who is a computer programmer. And, right now he's working. He's making good money. And, the guy stopped going to school. And I told him, why did you do that? You should get your degree because later on in 5 years, even though you have the skill set, they're still going to want
a degree, yeah.
Yeah,
gatekeeping.
To show face. And the guy is not listening. So I'm like, well, I'm trying to help you.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Exactly. And because they want to get rich quick, get rich.
No tattoos. Tattoos are not an investment.
Exactly, no.
I've seen so many people waste their stimmy on that.
They're a waste of money.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's crazy, but
Alrighty, John, I'll let you go.
All right, take it easy.
yeah, guys. So you guys have a good night, and y'all take care and everything, and I'll get
Hey,
back
Big
to you. Yes, who's this?
Dave, we think about that red eye.
What?
The red eye. What you think about the red eye?
What do I think about it? What, the Charger?
Yeah.
I was really excited about it, and then I saw it, and I was like, well, fuck, it's just another Charger with a different hood. It's like, we need new stuff. Those cars are 10 years old.
Yeah.
Those cars are 10 years old. They've been making the
2011.
2014, the 2011 started the new that new LY or whatever, and they've been making this car this long, and the interior is still the same old shit. And I'm like, yo, it's like you guys gotta make something new, man. And the crazy thing about it is all of these other car companies are going to electric cars now. So my thing is, it's like, yo, that's what you need to do. You need to make an electric car so that you'll have something new to talk about. Because you can't keep making gas guzzlers. That shit ain't. Even that Ram TRX, that thing gets 10 miles to a fucking gallon, and it costs $100,000. That's not. I mean, that. Do you understand how stupid that would be when you're in this climate right now?
Have you seen how much the tires cost too?
Well, the tires are like damn near
35 inches.
Yeah, the tires like $300 a piece. But because these are truck tires and they're light truck tires, even though they're wide and big and everything, because these things are light truck tires, they're they're not terribly expensive. But the bottom line is, this thing, like, what market do you think this is that's buying something? Fuck. Oh, somebody's listening to. Oh yeah, you're listening to a live stream. No, but all I'm saying is,
I was listening to the last one, right?
that red eye Charger, that red eye Challenger. What I've noticed is you'll see those cars 1 year they're used, 2 years they're used, and then those cars are popping right back up on the used car lot.
Faded out brakes and everything.
The thing about it is, nobody right now in their right mind is buying a gas guzzling car that costs over $90,000. That's just dumb.
And you know what's worse, John, is that now with this time being ahead of us, because right now it's like 8:47 here. They switched the damn time zones. Right now it would have been like 7:47 instead of 8:47. So I think it's getting late.
Yeah. Well, right here it's 11:47 instead of 10:47.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I'm ready to go to bed. But but that's the whole thing, man. It's like these cars at this point, most of these dealers, or not the dealers, the manufacturers, they basically said, listen, we're gotta go electric now because even if we do a hybrid, we have to do hybrids, we have to do electrics because we have to change something because these gas prices are too unpredictable at this point, especially when the government's printing money like they print.
Well, with Biden, he also cut a pipeline.
Well, listen, Biden cutting the pipeline doesn't change the fact that gas prices have been rising since basically last March this year. So if you look, gas prices hit the low not because of coronavirus. Gas prices hit the low last year because there was an oil war between Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. So ultimately, that dropped gas prices to like less than $1 a barrel. But since that time when they dropped and went negative, they've been going up ever since then. So for the last year, they've been going up. Now, with Biden cutting that pipeline, that's basically telling you that the Democrats want you in an electric car. That's basically what they're saying. They're basically saying, oil's old and electric's new. And despite the fact that you love your gas guzzlers so much, in about 20 years, they ain't even going to exist no more. Either that or they're going to be collectible items. They're trying to get rid of them. That's the bottom line.
They'll be a classic.
They'll be classics, yeah. They'll be classics.
Yeah.
So ultimately, that's just what's going to happen. That's just it. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but the thing about it is they're going to make the change.
Either, but it has to be done.
Anyway. And the thing about it is, it would look really stupid if Americans are driving around bankrupt and broke because they're too busy paying $3 and $4 and $5 a gallon of gas.
Broke as a joke.
And every other country, because you do realize if you go to Europe, if you go to anywhere else, Southeast Asia, most of those countries are paying for diesel fuel.
Oh, so much,
and,
$8.
Or petrol. They're paying for diesel, and they're paying by the liter. If they get electric cars and they build up their infrastructures to
They
handle
save thousands of dollars.
Yeah, well, they're going to pay a car tax. But the thing about it is the tax on electric cars is not going to be anywhere near as bad as what they're paying right now.
You know people that live in London, right? Big Truck?
I know some people live there, yeah.
Yeah, just ask them how much they paid just to drive there.
Well, I remember when I was in Philippines, when I was in Thailand, when I was in South Korea, I looked around at their gas prices. They were relatively high. But once electric vehicles come out, you'll be able to charge your freaking car just by plugging that shit into any outlet.
And you know what's happening is that in Spain they're making a lot of electric vehicles, and the Hyperloop is actually being implemented there as we speak.
The Hyperloop is a stupid fucking idea.
It is a stupid idea.
They should have never given. See, Elon Musk is a corporate welfare face. And the thing about it is, it's a stupid idea because they could have just as easily invested in light rail or high-speed rail.
In the United States.
Yeah, they're like the only time I would ever expect to see fucking tunnels with vacuum tubes and transport ships. The only time I would expect to see that is if it was in like the White House to rescue the president if anything ever happens at the Congress or the White House. I would never expect to see something like that in common use. When I was in China, they had a magnetic train in Shanghai.
Maglev.
That fucking train does like 250 miles an hour. I saw that damn train with my own eyes, rode that train, and just like when I went to Japan, they had their bullet trains that go from the airport and this, that, and other. And I'm like, America, the best we can do is a fucking Amtrak that takes 24 hours to get you to Florida.
They stink too.
And then you want to hand Elon Musk billions of dollars to build a fucking tunnel that has a tube? What are you, stupid?
It's retarded.
Now listen, if we were on the moon or Mars, oh yeah, then it would make sense. But we're not on the moon or Mars. This is not Babylon 5.
There you go.
It's just incredibly freaking dumb, man. And that's just it. That's just it. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna hit the broadcast. And
good
you
night,
guys
John.
Everybody, thanks for joining. You guys have a good night.
Yeah.
And
thanks for sharing your wisdom.
And I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Have a nice night.
You too.